Tuesday, December 17th, 7 p.m. We're meeting in person at the Nanakuli Public Library and virtually via WebEx. A neighborhood board meeting is monthly open forum between government representatives, elected officials, and members of the community. Members of the public have the right to submit testimony on any and all agenda items. We have a full agenda tonight, so we're going to keep things moving. The rules of speaking, if anyone wishes to speak, I'll ask that in-person attendees line up at the microphone. So for tonight, there's a new setup. We have a community microphone here, and then our primary representatives here. Comments must be kept under 2 minutes, official monthly reports under 3 minutes, and presenters under 10 minutes. Sergeant at Arms will be keeping time, so please keep your comments to the timer when it goes off. I would like to remind everyone that this is a community forum, so we welcome all comments and concerns. We're going to go ahead and open with Pule. If you can bow your heads. Dear Lord, thank you for this evening. We just thank you for the holiday season. We thank you for all the blessings that we've had throughout the year. And I just pray for this meeting tonight, be in the midst of our conversation. And I just pray for blessings over the 96792 district. And you just help us to remember that you are the center of everything that we do. And so we praise you, we honor you, we glorify you. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen.
So first off, we have our city emergency and first responder monthly report with the Honolulu Fire Department.
Good evening, board, community. Captain Scott O'Shore from the Nanakuli Fire Station. We have our fire department statistics for last month, November. The statistics below represent confirmed number of incidents in the neighborhood's geographical area for the previous month. For fires, we had 1 structure fire. We had 7 wildland/brush fires. We had 9 rubbish fires, 2 cooking fires, and 2 activated alarms with no fire. For emergencies, we had 94 medicals, 1 motor vehicle collision involving a pedestrian, 7 motor vehicle collisions, 1 mountain rescue. And the fire safety tip and announcement is for this month will be cooking safety. Food has a unique way of bringing family and friends together, especially during the holidays, and cooking can be a relaxing activity. However, it's important to be aware that cooking fires are a leading cause of home fires and home injuries. By following a few safety tips, you can prevent these dangerous situations. Number 1, stay alert while cooking. If you're sleepy or have consumed alcohol, avoid using the stove or stovetop. Always stay in the kitchen while cooking. Never leave the stove and heated appliances not attended. Use a timer to remind yourself to check on your food regularly, and keep flammable items like oven mitts, wooden utensils, food packaging, and towels away from your stovetop. And the last tip is keep children and pets away at least 3 feet away from cooking areas. That's it. You guys have any questions?
Thank you. Any questions from the board? None. Any questions from community? None. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
And please help yourself. We have some candy canes and chocolate for the holiday season. Thank you so much. Okay, next on the agenda, we have the Honolulu Police Department. Online.
Good evening, aloha. Evening to the board chair, board members, and community. Have the stats for November 2024. Motor vehicle thefts in the district between Ewa Beach and Kaena. We had 29. Nanakuli Maili had 5. Burglaries, 10 for the district, 1 for our area. Thefts, 104. Nanakuli Maili, 13. Unauthorized entries into motor vehicle, 21 in the district. Our area had 3. Total citations issued in November was 373. Total cost for service in the district, 8,637. Nanakuli Maili, 1,814 calls. Just wanted to point out, we just had the Nanakuli Christmas on the Ave. Thank you for all the organizers for putting that event together. Very successful, and thank you to Pastor Allen putting on the Blue Lake Christmas within the Christmas on the Ave event. Also, with the holidays coming up, just want to ask everybody to drive safely, keep your attention on the road. Don't be distracted by fireworks or anything else. Happy holidays, be safe, and thank you. Any questions?
Thank you. Any questions from the board? None. I have a question. If we can check in with Sergeant John Ishikawa on the applications that were submitted for the crossing guard for Nanaikapona Elementary School. There were applications that went in and nothing had come back to those individuals who had submit. So we're hoping to alleviate the safety concerns that were brought up by constituents.
Yeah, I can check on that and get back to you at the next board meeting. That was for Nanaikapona
For Nanaikapona Elementary School, yeah.
Elementary. Got it.
Thank you. Any questions from community? None? Okay, so to our next agendized item, filling a vacancy, one at-large vacancy. So do I have any nominations? Board member Tector.
Yes. Yeah. I'd like to nominate Kawi. She's here, and if she would like to, unless there's other nominations.
Do I have any other nominations on the floor? Any volunteers in the audience? Okay, so I'm going to give each of you an opportunity to come up to the microphone and speak. We'll start with the nomination from the board, and then we'll go on.
Chair,
Yes.
to make it compliant, I want to nominate Mr. James Cowell
Okay,
to make it compliant.
nomination for James Cowell.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Some of you may know me. I've sat on this board before. I was the chairman of the Transportation Committee over here, which is my specialty, being a truck driver for 46 years on this island. I know just about every road on this island, even Mount Ka'ala. But I was also on the committee. We had a committee to, at one time we were getting a lot of pedestrians involving kupunas. And what was happening is they were crossing the street trying to get to the bus stop across the street, which there's no crosswalks or anything. So I was on the committee to help move a lot of these crosswalks to the stoplights so the kupunas can use the stoplights to get across the street. And that cut down 100% on pedestrians getting hit by cars. I was also involved in the 5th lane out here in Farrington Highway. And I started when I was on the Wyandotte Neighborhood Board on the emergency access road. And when I moved to Miley, it continued on this side. So I helped implement the emergency access road, which is still not open yet, but we drew out the route and everything for the access road. But a little about me is I live in Miley. I've been married to my wife for 46 years, retired Marine. And when I commit to this board, I commit 110% for the community. Thank you.
Mahalo. And then there was another volunteer in the audience. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Please state your name.
Aloha, Kauia Sinsin. My family is from Nanakuli, Fort Road, Kauahi Avenue, original homesteaders. I am an alumni of Nanakuli High and Intermediate School. I currently live in Maili. I community school coordinator at Nanakuli High and Intermediate School. I also work at the juvenile detention. My heart is for the community. Whatever opportunity I have to serve our community in whatever aspect there is or platform there is, that's where I'll be. My commitment as well is above and beyond. Have sacrificed a lot just to give to the community. Many people have seen me in the community and have helped, and I have helped them. So I just want the opportunity to be able to serve our community on another level and be able to bring concerns, but also to help be a part of the solution for the concerns of our community is what I'd like to add to this board.
Thank you. And then another nomination. Do we have a nomination on the floor for our volunteer, Valerie Manoa? Go ahead, come to the mic.
Okay, aloha mai kako. O Valerie May, haunani kavailani, o humukini manoa ko o inoa, noho mai kailua kona Hawaii, a ka noho au I ahupua o Nanakuli ma moku o Waianae. So my name is Valerie May, which is weird because usually my parents call me that when I'm getting scoldings. I am originally from the Big Island in Kailua Kona. In 1988, I moved here with my husband and his family, and we raised 4 children. We have 12 grandchildren, so we raised our 4 children here in Nanakuli, at Nanakuli Elementary School, Nanakuli Intermediate and High School, and we have our 2 daughters who graduated from Kamehameha School, Kapalama. I am a teacher at Kawaihona, Okanaawao currently. If you see all the dragon fruit, that's my 3rd graders learning how to malama aina along with including all the curriculum there. My heart is in the aina, so not to use the aina, but to present the aina to our haumana, our opio, our mo'opuna, so that they can malama the aina, so that as we continue to live and grow and take care of it. My other heart is with our ohana, our families in Nanakuli. My husband did pass last year, and a thought came to me was it would be easy to leave, but Nanakuli has become my home, so I am staying here. I live above the cemetery in Nanakuli homestead, so I get to wave to him hello and goodbye every day. I am also, some of you may know me in the community. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I manage a website for volunteers to help those in need statewide, so for all islands. So any nonprofit that has any type of volunteer needs, it's a free website. So if you follow me on Facebook, I'm all over the islands. I have been on the education committee when Kimo Keli'i was with us and was able to learn and understand a little bit more about the education committee. And then just recently with Malia being on the education committee, the public safety committee, and the land and water committee. This is a surprise for me. Malia's been asking where my thoughts were about this, and just so happened today somebody also approached me and went and took this idea to my children and have, even if they're adult children. So whichever direction the vote goes today, because I met our sister here and our brother here, and we all have what is needed to take care of our people in our ahupua'a and beyond that. So let's just come together, yeah, in our vote. Mahalo.
Mahalo. I'm going to pass it over to our NCO for the vote. Roll call. Do you have questions? You have a question? Oh, is there another nomination on the floor?
Mrs. De La Cruz.
Okay, please approach the mic and state your name.
I apologize for being late. I was dealing with another community issue. This is the second time.
Speak into the mic.
This is the second time I'm in front of your board, and this time I'm gonna just read off so I don't pass the 2 minutes. Aloha. I am Blessings Dela Cruz. I'm here to Kokua, help address the needs and concerns of our community. I have been involved in the field of social services as case manager, counselor for over 30 plus years, and have worked with other caseworkers such as Auntie Huipo, Uncle Joe Werner, just to name a few, at Halina Apono Mental Health, and various service providers island-wide, which also includes Waianae Civic Center with Auntie Rita Martin, bless her soul, and Auntie Kathy Alana. But I can't do this alone. I need you and I. We work together as a solid unit. We can come up with solutions in relations to the needs and concerns of our community. A chain is only as strong as its weakest link. I'm still involved with our communities. I have networked with other organizations and churches here in the Nanakuli, Waianae, and the whole of the west side. Mahalo for your time and consideration. I'm in Miley.
Mahalo. So we have 4 individuals up for the vacancy tonight. We're going to go ahead and do a voice vote.
Excuse me. Okay, so how this goes, I know that we did this last month, but just a reminder, when I call your name, please say into the microphone the name of the person that you wish to fill the vacancy. Again, we have 4 nominations. So we'll just go with that. First and foremost, we'll go with Board Member Tector.
One for Kawi,
Board Member Kong,
De La Cruz.
Shinsato,
Crowley,
Board Member Myers,
Valerie Manoa,
Board Member Ed Hanohano online,
James Cowell,
Board Member Naomi Hanohano,
James Cowell,
Board Member Ayo. Can you please use your microphone?
Kawi.
And Chair Gaston.
Kau'i.
So with that first roll call vote, we did not receive, nobody received the quorum vote of 5. We'll go through one more time as a roll call vote, and if no one fills that quorum number, we'll advertise it at the next board meeting in February.
Eddie, Jeffrey, what was the vote count for how much for each? So everybody
Oh,
can understand.
The vote count for Kawi was 4. Resident Blessings received 1. Resident Valerie Manoa received 1, and Resident James Cowell received 2.
So Kawi for Cowell's, how much?
2.
2, and then Manoa was
1.
1, and then Blessing
1.
1. Okay.
So we'll do another roll call vote, and again, if it's not met, then we will advertise at the next neighborhood board meeting. Again, Board Member Tector,
Kawi,
Board Member Kong,
De La Cruz.
Shinsato,
James Crowley,
Board Member Myers,
Kawi,
Board Member Ed Hanohano online,
James Cowell,
Board Member Naomi Hanano,
James Cowell.
Board Member Ayo,
Howie.
and Chair Gussin.
Howie.
Okay, so with that second roll call vote, I'll read out the vote count for each person. Resident Kali received 4. Resident Blessings received 1. Board Member Resident James Kyle received 3. And that was it for that second vote count through. So we'll know to receive the quorum vote through that second vote count. So we will be advertising the at-large seat at the next neighborhood board meeting. For those that volunteer were nominated tonight, please come back and volunteer again if you wish, and we can go about the voting process again. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow, so many on the floor and sharing, and we appreciate you. We please ask if you guys can come back to the next meeting when we hold it in February. Mahalo. So we're going to move to our next agendized item, designation of committee chair and members. Oh, sorry. Shifting back, sorry. The certificate of service to former Nanakuli Ma'ili Neighborhood Board, David Corona. So we would like to recognize him tonight. And I'm going to read this out. David, if you can head over to the microphone. And yeah, and we're going to go ahead and do a so this certificate is awarded to David Corona in recognition of your exceptional service and unwavering dedication as a board member of the Nanakuli Ma'ili Neighborhood Board. Your leadership, particularly as the chair of Housing and Zoning and Transportation Committee, has been instrumental in addressing key issues and enhancing the quality of life for residents in our community. Throughout your tenure, you have demonstrated a profound commitment to fostering collaboration with city and state agencies, ensuring transparency in the permitting process for existing and upcoming housing projects, as well as ensuring our roads are safe by helping to execute requests for speed humps, crosswalks, stop signs, and more. Your ability to bring people together and engage them in meaningful discussion has significantly contributed to our community's growth and development. We acknowledge the countless hours you have devoted to our community and the positive impact of your work. Your vision and dedication have inspired many, and your hard work will continue to influence our efforts moving forward. On behalf of the Nanakuli Ma'ili Neighborhood Board and the residents we serve, we extend our heartfelt gratitude for your service. You will be greatly missed, and we wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Mahalo nui. And we're going to go ahead and take a recess and congratulate you. Recess. This meeting's called back to order. Go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to quickly say thank you to the board. Just for everybody that's here, I was never elected to the board. I've been on the board twice, but I was never elected. The first time I was elected by the board, and then the second time, same thing, I was elected by the board. So I never had the opportunity to be elected by the community. But I thoroughly enjoyed serving the community. It was a big honor. It wasn't just being here on the board, but doing things out in the community and engaging and meeting so many people. So I enjoyed that. So I thank you for the board for your volunteering, your commitment to the community. And I thank to everybody here that's here now that, you come to the board, you participate in your community. And that's just, it's important. Not everybody comes but you consistently do come. So I appreciate that. And thank you. So happy holidays, Merry Christmas. I'm going to be online. I'm still going to be participating even from afar. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. So thank you again for this and Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Merry Christmas. So the designation of committee chairs and members. On our agenda, we'll go through in order if I can have any volunteers for Transportation Committee. Any volunteers from our board for Transportation Committee?
Are you asking for members or are you
From
designating?
board
for-
members,
Oh,
from our board members.
for board members? No, are you asking for members of the committee or committee chair?
For committee chair. Yes.
I'll volunteer for committee chair for transportation.
Okay. Thank you. And our B item, housing and zoning. Volunteers for committee chair.
Housing and zoning chair, that's it.
Okay. Thank you. Chair position for water and land. Any volunteers for chair position for water and land?
Madam Chair, I'd like to take up that task just so that we could have continuity until we meet in February 2025 in creating members. And as we bring on our new potential vacant member, member that'll fill that vacancy, I'll take that on. as
Okay.
chair.
Thank you. And then board members for the vacancy for chair of education committee.
That'd be me. Oh, I go.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So going through each of the committees, do we have any volunteers to support with transportation committee as a member? So this is going to be as a member in support for Chair Myers.
I'll support.
You'll be a support member. Okay. Shinsato. Do we have a support member of the board for housing and zoning for Chair Myers?
I'll support her.
Shinsato. Do we have a support for land and water for Chair Tector?
Ayo.
Ayo. And do we have a support member for education committee? Under Paul Ayo. Kong. Thank you. So we will be updating our brochure, and the request is that you continue to have a meeting at least once a month and inform the community via Sunshine Law 6 days before with your agenda. So please do your best, and if you have a buy session, just inform the community that you folks won't be meeting.
And just to clarify with Chair, the agendas, please email them to myself. I know that you guys all have my email, but email them to myself a week prior to your board meeting. So if you meet on the 17th, which would have been today, your agenda should have been to me on the 10th. So a week before, just so there's time to edit if needed, and then it gets mailed out on the 6th day for the community to get notice.
Thank you. So moving on to our next agendized item. Residents' community concerns, please approach the mic. State your name.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is James Cowles. My community concern is there's a huge eyesore here in Nanakuli. I'm talking about the building next to Kentucky Fried Chicken. That, to me, looks like a health hazard. It's got graffiti covered all over it. It's been set on fire twice. I was wondering if there's anybody that knows how to get a hold of the owner of the building to have something done. Either tear it down or fix it. But coming in out of Nanakuli and Waianae, that's a huge eyesore. And I'm sure all you folks have seen it and drove past it. But a lot of people, they just turn a blind eye because they don't want to see it. There's a lot of vagrants hanging around at the building. That's the ones that been setting it on fire. And for our community, I feel that there should be something done about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other community concerns? Please approach the mic. State your name.
Hello, Danny Wyatt. I'm the coordinator of the Waianae Moku campus. This isn't a concern, it's kind of a statement. Landscaping we've been in the, thanks. We've been in the facility now for over 7 years. The students had landscaped the building, had landscaped the property, but that wasn't the way it was supposed to be done. The university's finally coughed up and landscaping is more or less complete. There's a meeting on Thursday for a finalization of that, so things look a lot better. One of the concerns we do have, though, is located between our campus and the elementary school next door. There's an easement, and there's 2 trees there that we periodically have to call HECO about to trim. We could remove that problem if we could remove the trees, which would be nice. And then also the grass that grows up. What's happening now is the elementary school personnel are cutting about a yard on the fence, their side of the fence. And I've been hacking away about a yard on our side of the fence. So it's a possible fire hazard for between those 2 areas. Something else that's come up is, let's see, we do have increased parking now with the landscaping. And then I'd also like to plug the Waihawa Product Development Center, because this is an agricultural area. There's a possibility of people contacting Waihawa Product Development Center, and they will help market products that are grown out here. That's about it for me. Mahalo.
Mahalo. State your name.
Aloha, I'm Austin Salcedo. Just to make an awareness of recapturing December 11th Honolulu City Hall Town Hall meeting with full City Council regarding Bill 64. Apparently, we had lost that battle as far as group living concerns. So with that said, well, let's continue on that itself. So the state will continue and the city will not get involved as far as group living on agriculture, country, zoning, ohana, and residential. If it's state operations, the neighborhood board would forfeit their rights on these things as far as any community concerns. That's what it amounts to. And I thank you for our mayor's representative who brought a concern about care homes and group living. There's 2 different issues, but he cited this, the DPP has cited a Hawaii revised statute inside that we're working on. This is going to be at the state level. So this can be a state operation of group living into our area of Senate District 22. That's a big concern. It will never come before the neighborhood board. Second on city council was Bill 46. They postponed that. There was a big controversy on that. Okay. The state, I told city council, you contradicted yourself. The city departments is going to be witch hunting for vacant homes so they can tax 3% on the homeowners for vacant housing. Okay? When you have state operations already operating in our area, this is going to give an advantage for the state to look for properties, and they're going to be taking our properties in residential, agriculture, and country zones. So how are we going to remedy this? So they put a postponement on Bill 46. So the community on the next hearing on this Bill 46 has to testify. As far as Bill 64, it's a done deal right now as far as the city and county is concerned. But it's still an open game for our state legislation to get involved with. So thank you. Our chair for housing that brought attention to Kauhali's. That's an issue because it's going to be state operations and it's going to be operating and without community communication, collaboration, and accountability.
Thank you.
That's how he stands. So that's what I have to share.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Aloha, Kalei Salcedo. You know, the concern about these bills that's just passing through this city, you know, is it's state operation. But the part is we have to think, we live in 96792. We don't have no emergency access road coming from Kilikili Drive going out, or even when the Nanakuli 7-Eleven, Nanakuli McDonald's, when that road was shut down, everybody was stuck. So we need to be proactive in putting a stop to this gentrification until they can figure out what the hell they're going to do when there's a fire. You know, we cannot just let government bully our community. Our community needs to be educated what's going on. A lot of people gave up on the boards. A lot of people gave up voicing their concern. I have it because I get kupunas calling me. I have it because I get children who tell me, Auntie, you know when we're driving, the drivers, we trying to cross the road, if they're on the street, they're on the crosswalk. Nobody yelled at them. They just drive by. And a lot of them we looked at don't have the proper license plates. We shot 400 something HPD. What more negative impact are you folks, the board, is going to allow in our community, the whole 96792? We got to stand. We got to let them know we're not a pushover. We got to let them know we're not a dumping ground. It's time to stand up for your 96792. We've been at City Hall. We've been at State Capitol. I mean, I'm not about to give up because it's going to hurt my children and the generations to come. So if you stand all together, when you pass your words, your mana'o to the next person, give them a little hope and say, come to the board, voice your concern. You have to, they have to hear that. They have to hear there's a little hope. Because if you ain't got a little hope, you might as well lie down and forget everything. But I'm not going to give up because this is my home. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Okay. Community concern from the board. Board Member Myers.
Thank you, Chair. So Chair, some of the community concerns that I wanted to voice out about is number one, regarding Bill 64, what community member Austin Salcido has spoken about. I think one of the persons that we have to engage is Rep. Kila, because he's on the Hawaii Interagency Council for Homelessness. So with Bill 64, it was very sad that it had passed through without amendments. But Bill 64, the concern of the committee was that with Bill 64, group living homes monitored and registered license, or registered or licensed, but monitored is the key word. If they're just even being monitored by the state, so the state not running a group living home of 8 or less people, which could also be a kauhale, could be a clean and sober, etc. But it's for 8 people or less, then we wouldn't have, it's no longer going through the CUP process, which would mean it would come before the board. So what I'm proposing for us to do, and we'll try to go through committee first, is activate Rep. Kila, because he's on the state side, it's state monitored. Therefore, he should be able to address it with us as far as how we're going to get notified when a group living home is monitored, registered, licensed by the state, so that we can always be activated in our community, who's in our community as far as these group living homes. The second part is I wanted to acknowledge Auntie Calais Salcido, because at last month's meeting, she had really pursued with HPD to get an answer regarding why Pa'akea wasn't open when there was that multiple car accident that caused many to be gridlocked for 3 hours. And by doing that, when I followed up with it, what I found out was traffic accidents can happen where the gate could be open. So were we told that only for disasters, it's now about, it can be for traffic accidents. So what has to happen is that I have to have a meeting with the powers to be in order to find out. So at February's meeting, I'll report back so that, but hopefully it could be resolved prior to that so that the gate can be open when the next time we have a traffic accident. Can I just have one more second about, I wanted to acknowledge Uncle Richard Lanford, who has always been a guardian over the emergency access roads.
Thank you.
And we are working together. We're going to be going to those meetings with the three powers to be together to advocate for our community, for those roads to be open when
Thank
they
you.
need to be open.
Thank you.
Mahalo.
Mahalo.
And
And we have
Sir,
another community concern from Board Member Tector.
I agree with what Board Member Jermaine has said, Myers, in regards to the traffic. There was another incident where our 96792 needed to be home, and they were in traffic, I believe, over 5 hours, if not, because there were calls and then children unable, sitters, parents calling in urgency. And Kole Pass, we already got the okay, we got the approval, and it's still on deaf ears. So if we can expedite that, I'll hold the keys if have to. That means I drive up and unlock it, but you would see some service and 24/7. But we've done this for years. The mere fact we got the okay, give us the keys. Another concern is, if you read the newspaper, there's no more trash that's going to be dumped on this side. That's going to be legal dumping. PBT is going to be shut down. It was in the newspaper, Wamanalo. But if the mayor gets out, it can also change. I just want to make sure it's secured. Whenever we have a new governor or mayor, it changes the rules. They say, why, if it's broken, not broken, why fix it? But I want them to be held to their word, even for the next mayor that comes on board. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We also have online hands raised. So I'm going to turn it over to Patty Teruya. Kahanamoku.
Hi, excuse me. I just got my voice back. Aloha, happy holidays. First of all, congratulations to David Corona. Good luck on your venture. I had the opportunity to serve with you when I was the chair. I wanted to bring up some important items, and first of all, I wanted to commend Board Member Jermaine Myers. And now that she's the chair for the Housing and Zoning, I think it is totally important, especially with the housing and the housing crisis that's happening along our Waianae coast. And the reason I bring this up is because I think this board and members, you need to take a look and start taking positions on the Department of Hawaiian Homelands. You are still the largest Native Hawaiian homestead in the world. And you have 7 homestead members that are lessees that live on homestead. And you need to get involved. You need to ask these questions. One of the important vital questions I really want this board to take a position from the Housing Committee is the mileage development. the old Voice of America property, where years of board members fought for that property. It was turned over from the federal, it was clean of ordinance, and it was given to the Department of Hawaiian Homes. We have held 3 beneficiary consultation for development of 147 homes in the Miley development below sea country. In 2022, 35 million was allocated to build these homes. In 2024, your chair removed that 35 million to another project. And so we are the only one in the Waianae Coast under the Act 279 that has no projects. Why? Under the 600 million Act 279, funding for homes was supposed to be used for existing Hawaiian Homeland Trust lands. So these are so important questions to ask. Out of all of your board, you have 7 beneficiaries that are on homestead. We need to start talking and thinking and fighting for the waitlisters. It is not 29,000, it's 30,000 waitlisters. We have a lot of families that are living in the mainland off coast that want to come home to their Aina. They want to come home to Nanakuli or the Waianae Coast. So I just wanted to bring this up. I'm going to close, but you also have to look at your 39 abandoned homes that you have sitting for more than 15 years on trust land. These are homes that can put in families into their Aina. So I just wanted to bring this up. Thank you, Jermaine, for your advocacy in the department and for OHA. You're a very strong spokesperson. We appreciate you and we look forward to working with your board. And thank you so much for the opportunity. Congratulations, Malia, on your chairship. Aloha no. Thank you.
Mahalo. Thank you. And we have one more online with Carrie Inamasu Ken.
Aloha kako. O Karina Masa Ken Ko'ino. No Princess Kahanu Mayo. My name is Karina Masa Ken. I am from Princess Kahanu. I just really wanted to echo the sentiments of our community members that brought up the issues of traffic and more representation for our Native Hawaiian communities within Nanakuli. Yeah. But the traffic issue, the most specific one that I have, I also want to thank the board members who are involved in getting that done in order to relieve the traffic issue. I just wanted to point out that when we have the whole Waianae community come through Princess Kahanu, our community cannot get out of our houses. So I don't know if anything can be done, but a closed mouth doesn't get anything done either, right? So I would just like to point that out. Princess Kahanu cannot get out of their houses when there is a bad traffic accident. So if we can get solutions done, that would be great. I also echo the sentiment of having our Nanakuli board, if possible, represent us more in terms of the Native Hawaiian community. I just attended the DHHL meeting last night in Ma'ili. There was a kupuna who was kicked out of their home in Nanakuli, in the homestead, after living there for 35 years. And she had nowhere to go, and her husband, I believe, were houseless for like, I don't know how many days, right? So I think it's important for us to have more representation there too. Other than that, I'd like to thank the board and the community members for always hearing our concerns and voicing the concerns needed to be heard. Thank you. Mahalo.
Mahalo. Any other community concerns?
Madam Chair, can I
Board
comment
Member
to that?
Tector?
Yeah, the DHHL has done an excellent job in getting notifications out and going to the meetings. It's having to pound the pavement, and there is good news. We're going to have a lot of people placed on homestead, and all the vacancies, there's legalities in it. Unfortunate, even I tried to get one of those vacant homes. So let me wrap that up. It was only 1 minute. In a nutshell, thank you for noting that we have 7 beneficiaries. We're batting for you guys. We have Hawaiian Affairs meeting, and we're definitely hearing your voices, but come out next month. It's legislation, and guess what? Bring your busload of people. That's the time to do it. And we're going to be there. I'm going to try and see if we can get a bus. And I'm going to do a wait list or email everybody, whoever would like to attend. So January 15th.
Thank you. So with that said, we're going to move forward to our presentation of the evening. Online, we have the public access room, Hawaii State Legislature. Representative tonight is Keanu Young. Okay, go ahead and unmute. And in front of the board members, you have a packet that we had brought from the Capitol with the 2025 legislative calendar. And this is packet and information on what's going to be presented during this presentation. So the public access room is a resource available at the Hawaii State Capitol. And everyone tonight will be given an opportunity to learn what happens on our calendar and also how to register with an account to submit testimony and get involved this legislative session. Are you able to press unmute on the bottom left corner of your screen? Okay, go ahead and continue to try and do that. We'll go ahead and move to the next agendized item. And if you're able to get connected, then we can move back to you on our agenda. Okay, so official monthly reports. Governor Josh Green's representative, Gary, he's online with us. If you can go ahead and unmute, Gary.
Yes, good evening. Thank you, everybody, for being or allowing me to be here. But I unfortunately couldn't make it to the meeting. My son had a medical procedure, so I'm at home taking care of him. But I did have 3 things that I needed to follow up on. One was the gridlock that was already discussed earlier in the meeting. There were some questions from Department of Transportation. It's my understanding that at Board Member Corona's Transportation Committee meeting, Harry Takue from Department of Transportation Highway branch manager attended that meeting. There were some questions that were prepared for him, but I guess there were some additional questions that were brought up that he's still looking for the answers but listening to Board Member Myers, she did get some answers from HDD about the ability to open the gates for a traffic crash, but I know that Harry's still looking up information on his end. I was able to follow up just on my own to find out what the status of the emergency siren repair. I know that's, although it hasn't been brought up by the board, it's something I've been tracking and making sure that they're following through. So the Nanakuli emergency siren OA317, it's in the queue as Oahu work order number 1. So the vendor contracts are done, as I reported before, with a company called Commercial Electric. They have ordered the siren equipment, but it hasn't come in yet. There is a notice to proceed that's been executed between Commercial Electric and State of Hawaii. And as soon as the equipment arrives, the project will start. So just so you know that it's still progressing, and we're going to try to get that fixed. And lastly, the request was made at the last meeting about a listing of group homes in Senate District 22. I'm still trying to find out how to put that list together. I think Board Member Myers, you were supposed to send me an email that you sent to Senator Crabb. So if you could forward that to me, so I know exactly what the request is. But I did start the ball rolling for that.
Thank you. Any questions from the board?
Chair.
Board Member Myers?
Thank you. Thank you. I will follow up with that. Gary, I attended the Hawaiian Homes Commission meeting yesterday and today. And I humbly ask that you go back to the governor and report to him that the commission, through Chair Cully, had violated with two of the agenda items. They violated the Hawaiian Homes Commission Act in regards to beneficiary consultation with two specific agenda items. And therefore, I'm going to activate the Kanahele versus state. There was a lawsuit that went to the Supreme Court. And what the Supreme Court has stated, no beneficiary consultation, no action. Yet, yes, today, the commission took action regarding two specific agenda items. On one of the agenda items, they accepted a donation, which is a gift from Patty Tankayo, his ex-partner. With one hand, she gave him a gift. With the other hand, she asked for a general lease with conditions. So it's not like we got the land and we can do what we want with it. There came all these conditions. The second one was that they awarded a waitlister 2 acres of land on Lualua Homestead Road for him to live on for the next year. And what my concern is, it's within 1,000 feet from Lehoku Elementary, and this person is a registered sex offender. In addition, this person had just gone on the wait list just before Cully got confirmed. So in April of 2023, he put himself on the wait list. And then in July of 2024, he was given access to this 2-acre parcel. Today, the commission, because the chair had requested, gave him a 1-year right of entry to live on that property within 1,000 square feet, within 1,000 feet of Lehoku Elementary. So I'm going to activate 2 things. The Kanahele versus state lawsuit, showing that the Supreme Court stated what is a violation of the Hawaiian Homes Commission Act. And yet today I just watched him do it twice. The other thing is I'm going to activate Sunshine Law because I was censured by the chair. My time wasn't up. There is a video on it. Yet he censured me because he basically wanted to silence me in order for me not to share about the fact that this individual is a sex offender and he just got on the wait list. So many people are on the wait list for decades. This person has been on the wait list for less than 2 years, a year and a half. From April would have been
Thank you.
1
Please
year.
shorten. Please summarize and
Thank you. I'll wrap it up. So if you can please tell that to the governor and report back to us in February. But if you can email me before then, so that I can also let Department of, so that I can let those that I'm going to activate the law with, what the governor stance on it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from the board for the governor? Any questions from community? Please approach the mic, state your name.
Blessing Star Dela Cruz, Cohabray Pana, Diplomat Minister of the Kingdom. I just want to put it on record. I commend you. I'll be backing you up.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Gary. Have a great holiday season. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, happy
Mahalo.
holidays and happy new year, everyone. Thank you.
So we're going to go ahead and go back to our presentation as complications were adjusted. So if I can pass it on to Keanu Young from the Hawaii State Capitol Public Access Room.
Thank you, Malia. Good evening, everybody. Sorry for that. This is the kind of stuff that you fear, like doing, these type of Zoom meetings or WebEx meetings. Again, my name is Keanu Young. I'm the Assistant Coordinator of the Public Access Room, which is a legislative resource office at the Capitol. I do have a short presentation to share. I'm going to introduce our office to you guys and let you know about the important dates that are upcoming this session. Okay, so the Public Access Room was created about 30 years ago. We're celebrating our 35th anniversary this March, in March 2025. We're a nonpartisan.
Keanu, are you on
taxpayer-
share screen? Are you able to share screen? Okay.
Oh,
We
I'm
can't
sharing
see
it
it.
on my side. Oh, okay. You know what? Let me just talk through it.
Okay, okay.
I'll just stop. I'll talk through it. Okay. So we are a taxpayer-funded, nonpartisan legislative resource office, and our primary role at the Capitol is to enhance the public's ability to participate in the legislative process. And we do that by providing an office for the public to come and use as a workspace. We have public computers. The public can use our office as a home base for your advocacy efforts. We can make copies of testimony and legislative communication between yourselves and your legislators. We also produce lots and lots of reference material on the legislative process and the legislature. So the one thing to take away from us visiting you guys tonight is to know that we're available for you. It's myself and Andy Langhurst. She's the Public Access Room Coordinator. I'm the Assistant Coordinator. This will be my 17th legislative session and my 11th as the Public Access Room Coordinator. So we're eager and excited to help all of you. And again, we don't help just one side or one party. We help people on both sides of an issue, and also, Republican, Democrat, it doesn't matter. So just talking about the session legislative calendar, session is going to start on January 15th. It's the third Wednesday in January. That's when every new legislative session starts. And the first big deadline that comes up is the bill introduction cutoff deadline on January 23rd. So that's the last day for legislators to be able to introduce bills. And then they'll spend the rest of the session all the way going through May 2nd working on those bills. And during that time, about 2,500 to 3,000 bills on average will be introduced. We have a biennial legislature or this cycle. That just means that it's a 2-year session, always starting in an odd numbered year and ending in an even numbered year. So this will be the first year of the 2-year session, and the bills that don't make it this year will be able to, the legislature will be able to take action on them if they want to next year. So things coming out really quickly. If you have bill ideas, you want to make sure you get them to your legislators, because the drafting agencies are already very busy right now working on bill drafts. So yeah, just know that we're there, we're available. Our contact information is on the link on the off of the link on the website that I sent into the chat. And for the board members, it's also on the bottom of all of your informational material. So with that said, I'll turn it back to Malia. But please let us know if you guys have any questions on anything.
Thank you, Keanu. So any questions from the board for the Public Access Room? Board Member Myers.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on, Keanu, tonight. But I have to say, because I have attended one of your presentations before, this was just too fast.
Oh,
And
I've-
I don't know if people could absorb the value of what the public access room. So I want to advocate for you, but I want to ask my question first.
Yes.
Well, first of all, I think everyone in the community, if you're going to go to the state capitol, you want to know where the public access room is and go there to, if you need to use their resources, their computer, like you said, etc. But even for answers, anything to do with the state capitol or bills or anything, they've helped me numerous times. But what I want to know today is, I know I can come there to use your computer, which I've done, and print some stuff, which I've done for free. I wanted to know, can I go to the public access room to charge my cell phone?
Yes, and I apologize for speaking quickly. Because of my technical difficulties, I'm trying to, make sure I do my presentation in my allotted time. But yes, we do have charging devices for your phones, your laptops. You can charge your devices at the Capitol, and it's winter, but it's still pretty hot. And so, if you guys are at the Capitol, our office is probably one of the coldest offices, not personality-wise, but just temperature-wise. And people just kind of like to sit in our office in the nice air conditioning, and you can do that as well.
Thank you, thank you. I had to go to Rep. Keela's office and leave my phone there, but I'm so grateful I can come there now. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions from our board members? Board Member Tector?
Thank you, Keanu Young. I was privileged to seek your office out to do homework for our members and community for the Hawaiian Affairs. And with that, I was able to equip some of our community members with how to, again, write the bill, where to begin. And if you can touch bases on when they create a resolution, give it to the representative and or our senators, can you explain the next step when it's completed? Is it as written, or does it go through another process where you guys have a law office that kind of clean it up?
Yeah, so legislators do have access to the drafting agencies, and they'll draft the resolutions to the way whoever requests it wants it to be. Resolution deadlines come a little bit later in session, usually in March. I think March 7 is the deadline for introduction of substantive resos. And resolutions, for those that don't know, don't have the force and effect of law, but they're legislative measures that the legislature uses to move ideas. They can call for the creation of task forces, call for studies. And so most resolutions are substantive resolutions, and they kind of move through the process like bills. They get offered instead of introduced. They get referred to committee, and it goes through the committees that it gets referred to. But the House and Senate just have to adopt the resolution one time. And after the resolution is adopted, it goes to whoever the legislature is directing the resolution to go to. So it will depend on what the resolution is doing. So there's two types of resolutions: single chamber resolutions and concurrent resolutions. And concurrent resolutions move through both chambers, so they have a lot more power. And so that's the preferred way to move ideas, is via a House or Senate concurrent resolution. But after it gets adopted by the legislature, instead of moving up to the governor like how bills go, they get sent to whoever the legislature is requesting some type of action from. But yeah, the drafting agencies can clean up the language in the resolutions and send it back to the legislators for introduction.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from the board? Any questions from community? Thank you, Keanu, for attending tonight to present.
Thank
We
you.
will
Sorry about
get information out to the community as legislation moves forward in helping them to connect with creating an account on the Capitol website so that they're able to submit testimony during session. Session starts January 15th, 2025. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to our next agendized item, Mayor Rick Blangiardi's representative, Erwin.
Good evening, Madam Chair, board members, and everyone in the community. Erwin Kawata with Board of Water Supply. For this month's mayor's December newsletter, there's a number of different articles, including a discussion of the different holiday decorations that's set up at City Hall. There is announcements regarding a new landfill site, and certainly there's an article on some new city leaders that have recently been selected. There were 3 questions that was posed. The first one had to do with our state departments exempt from obtaining permits from DPP to demolish a building. Actually, under the revised ordinances of Honolulu, there is an exceptions for construction work to be done within any public utility right-of-way or easement. Second had to do with a question regarding Bill 64. That one is, for the most part, it's overseen by the state. The counties must allow a licensed care home, including the operator of the home, their family, and up to 6 care recipients. The city does not issue licenses, but Bill 64 distinguishes care homes licensed by the state from standard group living facilities. And then lastly, there was a question regarding what is the status of the Waimaha sunflower unit repairs? Currently, DPP currently has no open permits under Waimaha Sunflower Public Housing. So it's probably the question should go to the Hawaii Public Housing Authority. And that's my report for this month.
Thank you, Erwin. Any questions from the board or mayor? Board Member Myers.
I don't have a question, but I do have a comment to go back to the mayor. We're not going to I heard that we're not going to be having a landfill along the Waianae Coast, that he did say it's going to be in Wahiawa. So I just wanted to mahalo him for keeping his word to our community.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Board Member Ayo.
It's just a question. I think I passed it out. And I think I gave you a copy of it also, whether it was last week or last month's board meeting. It's regarding the SRO program, School Resource Officer Program for the West Side, Nanakuli High School and Waianae High School. I passed those documents out because we approved our resolution.
Yeah.
So I just need to know where the mayor is standing now and how is that getting through? Because it's got to be city and county. And the next thing along with that, city and county is going to be DOE, Department of Education. And then along with that, DOE would be the chief of police. I think everybody's got their copies. So I'm just wanting to know how that ball is rolling, the SRO ball. That's all.
Yeah, I will. I'll find out. I did remember submitting it, but I'll go find out.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Questions from community? Please approach the mic, state your name.
Hello, Austin Salcedo. Erwin, appreciate the response that you got back from the DPP in regarding the distinguishing between care homes and group living homes. So this HRS is going to needs to be elevated to the state level. And I'll bring it up to our legislature. If Rep. Keela is around, bring it up to his level. Moroka, his level, because this is the whole Senate District 22. I appreciate that. Thank you for the response back.
Thank you.
Thank you. Questions from community?
Aloha, Kauia Simpson. Regarding the SRO and just the relationship between the police department, city and county, however we can get it with the schools. If the SRO is not an option right now, currently, is there any other option that we could create a positive narrative between HPD and the schools to keep the presence available, possibly? I know at Nanakuli High Intermediate School, we are working on something there within the community, but can we go at least 96792 first pilot if SRO is not an option right now, if there is another option to create a positive narrative between the two so we can see the crime lessen with the presence?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we have a question online. Kapua, Keli'iko Kamai. Go ahead and unmute.
I already did. I hope you can hear me. Thank you. Um, so thank you, Jermaine, for mentioning the Oahu landfill new site to be in Wahiawa. You know, I, like everyone else here in our Moku, would like the landfill site to be relocated elsewhere. I just don't find the proposed landfill site to be very credible, because it is in an agricultural area that we do need to maintain. It is also above the aquifer, as Chief Engineer Ernie Lau has mentioned his concerns over the aquifer and the water that could be affected in time. So considering that we have just closed the Red Hill fuel tanks and resolved that problem, I would hate to see us as a people choose to go to agricultural lands to hold something, and knowing that Wahiawa area does have good water, so it rains. And so I'm just not finding this site to be a very credible site. So I'm somewhat disappointed. I am grateful that they found a site, but I suspect that. I just wanted to share that. Mahalo nui.
Thank you.
Mahalo. Any other questions from community? Thank you. Moving on to Board of Water Supply with Erwin.
Hey, thank you. So for Board of Water Supply, there were two main breaks in November, one on Mohihi Place and the other one on Farrington Highway. For the general water announcement, this is the holiday season, so utility scams tend to increase during this time of year. Please be aware, BWS will never call demanding bill payment under immediate threat of shutting off your water service. We do not, does not accept payment via Bitcoin or prepaid cards or third-party payment apps. Be sure to verify credentials if approached by someone claiming to be from BWS. When in doubt, you can also call us at 748-5000 option 0. There was one question that came up last month. A resident was asking how the public can report water waste to BWS on the weekends or after working hours, after regular working hours. And the best way to do that is to call our trouble line at 748-5000, select option 1, and then report what you're seeing in the waste. And then we'll send out a around-the-clock person to go out and observe and photo document the incident.
Thank you. Any questions from the board for Board of Water Supply? Shinsato, Board Member Shinsato.
I just was wondering, what is the age of the BWS's infrastructure on the Leeward Coast? Age of the piping system?
Okay, the age of the pipe will vary. It can be anywhere from 10 years old all the way up to 50, 60 years old, depending on the type of the pipe, when it was installed, size. So it can vary. Things like our large transmission mains, for example, that carry the water from one point to another. We have pipes that are as much as almost pushing 70 years old.
Thank you. Board Member Tector.
Hi, thank you so much for all that you do. When there's a water main break and residents have to wait for 3 days, specifically in Wamanalo, that incident, we literally had to take water to my daughter. But for 3 days, did they get compensated on their bill?
You can file a claim.
Oh, they have to file a claim.
You can file a claim and then submit it, and then we'll have an investigator go out and then evaluate. And if it's, everything is legitimate, we'll pay the claim.
Okay, I will submit my receipt from the water we
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, the main breaks, the length of time it takes to complete or repair a main break really depends on many factors. Number one, how deep is the pipe? Number two, how big the pipe is. Any kind of other infrastructure that's around that's going to complicate the repair. All of these things contribute and add to the time it takes to fix that pipe. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from community or the water supply? Thank you so much, Erwin.
Thank
Have
you.
a happy holiday.
You too. Happy
All of
holidays,
for
everyone.
coming out.
Thank you.
And next we have U.S. Congresswoman Jill Tokuda. Do we have a representative online? None online. Moving on to Councilmember Andrea Tupola. We have in person and online. Thank you.
Oh, good evening, Chair, board members. Sorry, could you guys hear me? Good.
It's very dark, but we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, I am actually out caroling with our youth, but I am here to report. We just want to thank everybody that shared their testimony or made the time to come out to council. There was a lot of bills that needed to be addressed and the community wanted to hear. But Bill 46 is what we wanted to report on. It is deferred for now. And we sent the response or council members' thoughts and more of detail to why she opposed the bill. But we still would like more testimony or support from the community. But right now it's deferred, and we're hoping that it dies and does not go for further. So right now they might be doing it for into the next council because they deferred it. Other than that, we just want to thank everybody for taking the time. And that's all we have to report now, and we're open for questions.
Okay. Thank you, Kika. Any questions for Tupola's office from the board? Board member Shinsato.
I was doing some research on that Bill 46, the empty house tax. And from what I understand, it's kind of like based on the Vancouver empty house tax. But I noticed when I looked at their empty house tax, they actually wrote the bill to include just the city limits in Vancouver, as opposed to what I see on our Bill 46. And it's probably because, I'm not sure how they got theirs passed, but it's probably might end up in court like Councilmember Tupola stated. But if we shrink down the area, like the Vancouver empty house tax, I think you might be able to get it passed because, you know, it's a small area. Most of the people that submitted testimony, they're talking about luxury high rises in that small Kako area. So I don't see any reason why we cannot mimic their empty house tax. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Any questions from the audience, community?
Richard Latford, concerned resident. There's a bill 62, I had mentioned it earlier. It's got to do with, I guess, with the vets to reduce their yearly registration fee. If it is in process, can we get some information on it? If it's not, then it's something that was brought up to my attention. Thank you.
Thank you. Kika, did you want to respond?
Yes. Uncle Richard, there is some updates that we probably would have to email in writing to you. I have your information, so we can email that. I know that there was some testimony and some other things that people wanted to change, but for now, we do have updates, but we can send it even to the board.
Thank you. And we have an online question with Kapua Keli'ikoa Kamai.
Please thank Councilwoman Tupola for her support Makaolelo, Hawaii, regarding Bill 62. I too would appreciate receiving that email, as that is what I had spoken in support of. So yes, mahalo to her, and if you could also convey that to Councilwoman Kia Aina. Mahalo, babe.
Thank you, Auntie. I will do.
Mahalo. Board Member Ayo.
Tina, I believe Andrea has the same resolution that we passed regarding the SRO program. So if she can give us an update on that from her office, because it's the council, I believe now, they would probably approve funding and stuff for the SRO program from the city side, not the state side, but the city side. So I just want to see if she got an update on the program that we submitted. That's all.
Yes. Uncle, I also wanted to share, she is looking to also go and do like a tour or just a ride along with the Maui SROs. So yeah, she wants everybody to get more familiar with the actual SRO that has been happening for years already. So yeah, we just wanted to let you know. And she's in full support for it, and we're gonna send the updates that we have as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Questions from community?
Hello, Kika. Can you, this is Austin Salcedo speaking. Can you get a question to Andrea? When is the next communication collaboration regarding Bill 46 that's going to be discussed? Any dates that's scheduled yet for that, for discussion? That's a question. Unless you have the answer already.
To be honest, I think what it looks like is they were waiting for one more vote. So that's why it possibly was deferred, because they need one more vote for it to not pass. So right now there isn't any information except that they're waiting for it to not pass with that last vote. So whoever, which was one final council member.
Right, I understand. Yeah, I think there was a Councilmember Calvin said didn't vote on that. Okay.
Correct,
Thank
yes.
you. Just in case something comes up, please bring it to the board for discussion on that matter in the committees more so. Thank you.
Okay.
Mahalo, Kika, and mahalo to your staff present here tonight. Yes. Thank you. Happy
Thank you.
holidays. We appreciate
You
your
too.
time. Next, we have our state Senator-elect Samantha DeCourt in person.
Hi, aloha chair, board members, State Senator-elect Samantha DeCourt. Thank you so much for having me tonight. Oh, let me start my time. So a few things that were mentioned. DHHL, I was at that meeting last night and I did share with the beneficiaries that my priority is to really help to advocate for the resources for our homesteaders, being that we are the largest Native Hawaiian homestead population in the world, which is why I have dedicated a staffer to be paying attention to everything that flows through DHHL, everything that flows through OHA, to make sure that we keep our finger on the pulse when it comes to issues that are connected to beneficiaries and homesteaders. So we do look forward to working with the Hawaiian Affairs Committee, Chair Tector, Also, Board Member Myers, I know that you attend the DHHL and OHA meetings very regularly. Also with Patty Taruya as well. We look forward to just working with all of the beneficiaries to make sure that our voices are on the table and we do have a strong advocacy in the Senate when it comes to Native Hawaiian homesteader issues. Which is why I had it be a priority of mine to be on the Hawaiian Affairs Committee. That was very important to me. With regards to Pa'akea Road and some transportation issues that were mentioned here tonight, I am setting up a meeting with Director Ed Sniffen. So hopefully we can do that before the legislative session starts, because I do want to make sure that the projects that were set in place are still going to be moving forward. Pa'akea is going to be, that project is going to be started in early part of 2025, so early part of next year. And I do intend on working together with Department of Transportation to make sure that we continue to push that forward, along with some other DOT projects that we have here on the 96792 Nanakuli Ma'ili. Specifically, Pa'akea Road would be the biggest project that we're going to continue to work with Department of Transportation on that. We are preparing our bill package. So I just want to share with the board members, community members, and those watching online, if you have any bill suggestions, ideas, please funnel it through our office. We have Nia Tatofi, who is my legislative aide. She's online. She's going to be putting my contact information on the chat. Other than that, we'll go ahead and leave our information with the chair so that she can distribute that out. Any bill ideas, please bring it through our office before the end of December. Already our legislative bureau is kind of backed up, so we want to make sure we get that in as soon as possible. Other than that, I'm open for any questions.
Any questions from the board for Senator? Board Member Shinsato.
You were talking about the Pa'akea Road, yeah?
Oh, sorry.
I know Representative Keela at the last board meeting, he mentioned that the bridge repair as well as the 5th lane Farrington headed that direction is actually going to be running concurrently. So in the whole grand scheme of things, in my mind, I'm thinking your project should be first, getting Pa'akea Road open, because before construction starts, in the sequence of construction, in my opinion, because once they close that down for the 2 projects, it's going to be, again, one disaster getting off the coast on this side. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I'll bring that up with my meeting with Department of Transportation. But no, I agree. I think either way, 96792 is going to be up against a lot of traffic because of the construction that's going to be happening, not to mention the continual HECO work that's being done that never just seems to end. So
Yeah, but at least we got another avenue to use to get out. And when you say Pa'akea Road, we talking about getting rid of the gate totally, right?
yeah, to be open up 24/7 for public use, not for emergency room, open constantly. So there's still a lot of regulations that DOT needs to comply with to open that up entirely.
And the other thing I wanted to mention is that that Pa'akea bypass, because I don't consider that emergency access, because it funnels back into Farrington Highway at Helilua, and we don't even have street drainage on Helilua. So it depends on the type of emergency. We might be back to square one again. So I think we got to think further ahead, like instead of coming back, we need to get back onto H1 rather than Farrington Highway. Thank you.
I agree. Good point. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from the board? Board Member Myers, and then Board Member Ayo.
Thanks, Chair. Thank you for having a meeting with State DOT Ed Sniffen to find out about Pa'akea, because I think for the main thing with us with the transportation is that Pa'akea be open, because it's always hard to get someone to get there and open it up. We do have, so I think that will be a main thing to connect us to the backside. And then one of the community members said online about she was concerned about not being able to come out of Princess Kahanu. And I think that's just the thing is that, you know, we have limited access and roads, etc. And so, but, you know, just trying to work with that situation. With Uncle Richard and I, we're going to meet with city about just opening the locks. So that's our concern when there is an emergency, accident, etc. So I'm so grateful that you're going to meet with DOT. Can you ask him if there's any possibility for him to find budget monies to open up? There's 4 access road. So the access road he's working on right now to open up permanently 24 hours a day is Pa'akea. But the other 3 is to connect anyone that lives in Sea Country that need to get to Hakimo Road to get to Pa'akea. So that's access road number 1. Pa'akea is access road number 2. Access road number 3 is once you get on Lolo Le Naval to go behind Second Save to connect with Helelua. That's road number 3. That's another one that I guess I don't want to wait until we get a RJ Martin development, then we open it up for the community because we're going to open it up for theirs. So I wanted to know, can we be the priority, the ones that live here now versus the new development? Or is he going to ask the new developers or require the new developers to share in the costs to improve the roads with sidewalks, street lights, etc., for it to be used 24 hours a day? Then the number 4 access road is Nanakuli, what they call Nanakuli Kai, which is the bridge that goes from Zablan over to the Nanakuli Beach Park. So can that be open permanently? Because the thought of with that bridge, and it makes no sense to some people, but for those that live with Waianae, if we can get 1,000, I'll make it, if we can get 1,000 of us that live up Nanakuli Avenue and Halekala Avenue off of Farrington by going to, you know, Piliokahi and crossing over the bridge and then hanging out at the stoplight by Nanakuli Avenue, that's opening up 1,000 less cars in front of them so that they can get home. Then my last question, so that's why it's imperative if we can get that bridge open and up permanently. And then the last question has to do with the cone system. So currently, when they first opened up the contraflow lane,
State your question.
I'll make it fast. But I just heard that she's going to go see DOT, so I'm just trying to get my wish list in because it's very hard to get DOT pinned down for the state. So the cones used to start from Piliokahe, which made the 3rd lane, and ended by Food Giants when it first opened up the contraflow. It was great. We're coming home faster. Now we're back to Honokaihale and beyond again. And what I noticed is that they moved the cone. So they start at St. Rita's Church in Nanakuli to create a 3rd lane, but they end at Helelua. So they shortened it. So now it's like, what's the purpose of it anymore? So if he can give us answers about that, was it adjusted by the contractor who made it easier for them to drop cones? Or was it that lack of money? Because they're still spending money to do it. So just wanted to know why was the cones shortened? Because I see the impact on the traffic.
Okay.
Thank
Will do.
you.
Thank you. Thank you, Board Member Myers.
Board Member Ayo.
My turn, okay. I just want to, I know you're advocating for me, the SRO program. Positive, 100%.
Automatic.
And my only request is to see how it's going to get through your offices, the legislature, because I'll make a copy of this one that I have, because this one got past the legislature to the Maui City and County. It was signed by everybody in 2023, which is only 1 year ago. The mayor of the county of Maui, the Department of Superintendent, the DOE, which is the state, Mr. Hayashi, The two schools that were involved, the principals of those two schools, they signed. This is a memorandum of understanding of how this thing set up the program to be in the school. And then lastly, the chief of police that represents the city and county of Maui. And then it went through the corporation council of that particular island for their approval. And the last thing that was signed was the Deputy Attorney General of the state of Hawaii signing the document saying it's all legal and this is good to go for the county of Maui. Okay. And here we are now in the city and county of Honolulu, the biggest county with the most money, but we don't have a program. And that's what I present to you. So if you figure that, here's a bunch of money here for this island, but it ain't coming to the school that we just want it to be. Two schools, Nanakuli and Waianae. That's all, Samantha. Thank you.
Yeah, so I won't speak for Councilmember Tupola if Jeannie wants to come up here, but they are starting a pilot program, from what I understand, at Nanakuli. Is that correct? Okay, so I'll have Councilmember Tupola's office get back to you on that specifically, because they do have a plan, and I do believe that they have a timeline already. So, yeah.
To add to what I just said, I think June is the date, June 4th to the 11th. It's a 1 week of training and education that the National School Resource Officer Program, it's going to be in Texas. I may want to volunteer to that so I can get certification. I pay my own money, get into the program, and I'd be certified as a civilian, not a policeman now, because I'm a retired policeman, to be in that school, to be in the school. But anyway, that program is going to start, and they do this once every year to certify whether you be a civilian or a policeman. As long as you got the funds, you can go to this training. I just want to mention.
Actually, you know what? Let me take that thought back for a second. I think it was actually Representative Keela's office. So yeah, so I'll follow up with him as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Board Member Tector.
Hi, Senator. As far as Parks and Rec, we did an assessment. We cleaned the Mulivai, but the bridge, as people are asking for an access for our community, it's cracked. So I think what we need to ask is if you can get an engineer that could continue the assessment so that it could be repaired before it's going to be open again. So it's not going to be open at all, because that's a risk. So that's the ask, is have someone here to expedite that. We can utilize CIP and probably do a resolution to get it. Thank you.
Okay, we'll work with Councilmember Tupola's office as well, in addition to DPR.
Thank you. Questions from community?
Hello, I'm Austin Salcedo, Senator DeCourt. Congratulations on your success and representing us in new legislation. And I know we're going to have things done under your realm. And I'd like to ask for a special meeting with our neighborhood boards, housing committee. Thank you, Chair Myers and Shinsado, to be on this. But you also have the Waianae as well, to the housing committee, to have a meeting with one of your office staff regarding group living and care homes. The actual laws, that's what stands right now, because there's a disparity, a significant disparity of how the permitting processes work. They have multiple permits out there, but none of those permits allows for collaborating with your District 22 neighborhood boards. Nothing from the state, whether it's SHPTA, Department of Health, none of this group living permits, certifications, monitoring comes before the neighborhood board. So we need transparency and an accountability. Can you please assign one of your office staff, and we can have a briefing already on this, but I'd like to invite DPP, City DPP in this meeting, the Department of Health, Adult Mental Health Division, and Alcohol and Drug Abuse Division. in this meeting as well too. And shipped up. There's a different type of certification and monitoring by all these people. So there's a significant disparity of how much group living we have over here in comparison to the rest of the other districts outside on this island and neighbor islands. So can you please schedule one and get back to
Sure.
us?
I'll work with the chairs and reach out to the departments to see who's available. It might take some time only because of the holidays, and I understand that some people are out of town already, but for sure, we'll throw out the invitation.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you, Senator.
Of course.
Any other questions from community?
Thank you, Senator. Richard Lanford again. I just have a couple of comments to make, and it has to do with transportation because as far as my, I guess, sitting with different areas as far as our transportation goes, there's a mess of things that's supposed to have occurred with our previous elected officials. And I heard so much about them, how much money, the 2 million, 3 million, whatever $1 million, but I haven't seen any progress done. But I know the main issue everybody is talking about is the Parkea extension or bypass or whatever you want to call it. But it starts, our traffic starts from Farrington Highway. Farrington Highway is the plague that kills our traffic coming in because of the 3 or 4 stoplights as you enter. But they promised us to give us the left turn lanes. I noticed that since there has been left turn lanes added in our community or on Farrington Highway, it has reduced a lot of the traffic and stuff. And a lot of the complaints about not being able to make the left turn to the markets and stuff like that, I think that's why they shortened it or they made it less. But there's a lot of speeding now coming from the Nanakuli Park until you merge back in to the 2-lane highway. So there's a slew of stuff that's going to happen. And that's why we're having so many accidents and stuff. But I would like to see the things that they promised us first to be addressed and then work on the other projects that that's going to be pressing, and especially the end product of Parkea Road bypass. Thank you.
Thank you. Question from community.
Aloha, Senator. Congratulations again. The concern I'm going to bring up is we have a lot of components in the District 22, and sometimes they want to be able to testify, but they're unable because you only got so much handy vans that can take them. And believe me, I cannot have all of them in my, take them along with me. I would if I could. So is there a way that maybe you can help the District 22 when it comes to hearing or testimonies you want to put up on the state capitol? Is it possible to have that hearing, or someone would turn around, open maybe the school because it's the state function, so they can community down here that cannot drive to testify for any type of bills and have it in Waianae, so give them a chance for their voice, because it's hard just for me and my husband to be their voice and writing things down what they're asking us and what, it's really hard. So I'm going to ask, even the city to do that, because it is hard and it's sad because we're not allowing their voice to be heard. And some of them do not have anyone to take them. And, so we just want to give them that little hope. No matter how quiet or soft their voice are, they can be heard. Just by doing that little step for the district and have, the meetings, somebody can set up something like that, but they can testify what they're for and what they're against. I would really appreciate you do something like that for the District 22. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. It was very discouraging for me to see a lot of our residents down at City Council last week from the morning until not getting back to the coastline until night. There were a lot of controversial issues that our residents needed to weigh in on, and so they had to go all the way down there only to spend the entire day to come all the way back and fight traffic again. So, I appreciate those that do make the sacrifice to be there all day. Not a lot of residents have that ability. So I will definitely see what I can do. I'm hoping that we can get some kind of satellite designation down here so that we can have the operating space to testify in. But
Senator, can I make a suggestion? I just thought about it. We have the state libraries. Maybe could you ask the librarian if they can set up but it's it would have to be like a private room because they basically have to sit there when they're going to testify. They have to hear what the hearing's going on and to testify. So I remember at one of my jobs, they had these cubicles where you would go in and it's soundproof and you actually can watch on the internet, whatever it was, if you was going there to watch a meeting and you could engage. I don't know if that's something the state can look into, or something, for the libraries, but it would have to be during operating hours, right? So it depends on the meeting date and time, etc. So it might not be exclusively where every time during legislature or every city council meeting, but at least it's something. That's just a suggestion because it's state libraries.
thank you for that. Yeah, great suggestion. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And we have 3 online, so I can pass it to Patty Kahanamoku Teruya.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to congratulate the new senator and to congratulate her first Native Hawaiian Manawahine as our senator for the Waianae Coast. I commend her for recognizing the importance of Hawaiian homelands and the HHL. She's awesome. We congratulate her wonderful staff that she has behind her to support her because she'll do awesome things for the Waianae Coast. And I just wanted to spread the happy holidays to her, her family, and the rest of the representatives in the audience and the board. Mahalo. God bless.
Mahalo.
Thank you.
Carrie Inamasu Aken.
Aloha. Sorry. I just also wanted to extend congratulations to our new senator also. But to the suggestion of assisting Kupuna, I don't know if this is viable or anything, but if you don't mind me suggesting maybe we can put together a volunteer carpool or assistance for our kupuna down here on the west side. Get people who have the time to volunteer and be able to pick up and drive kupuna to not only these government board meetings and everything, but just assistance in transportation in general, right? Because I know we have some issues with the handy vans. My father, when he was alive, I know he had a hard time getting those scheduled and getting have availability. And then I know not all kupuna can ride the city bus, right? So I don't know if that's viable, but that would just be a suggestion. And our Ohana would be one of the first ones on that volunteer program too. But yeah, just a suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie.
Thank you. Kapua Keli'ikoa Kamai.
Okay. Along the lines of testifying, I think it's great if we could have them transported, but what would also be easier on them physically as well would be somewhere within the community. And so Jermaine beat me to it. Our libraries is a natural resource that we could go to if they could situate maybe 1 or 2 computers, one for them to all look at and share, and then the second one being the one that they would use to testify. So that would need to be somewhat isolated because there will be conversation and talking going on. But what I had wanted to testify or to submit to our new senator, congratulations again, babe, is our traffic. And we come home from Kapolei, from Eva on almost a daily basis. Those that are fortunate to work there or shop. regarding Fort Barrett Road and Makakilo Drive. As you know, there is a westbound entry onto the freeway. Right now, we are not able to access that westbound freeway on-ramp unless we go up Makakilo Drive and we do a legal U-turn where Palai Street is. But that corner that we then take a right on is supposed to be a four-way corner. So, Senator DeCourt, I'm asking you to please start your political career in that house, trying to get that road to a four-way stop. That's the way it's developed, and that's what we need to pursue. Because we shouldn't all be bottlenecked into the Farrington Highway access, whether we come from Wakia Drive or Wakia or Street, or whether we come from Kailua Boulevard. It's ridiculous for the bulk of us to be bottlenecked onto that one area.
Thank
We
you.
should be coming from Wakia or from Makakilo Drive. Mahalo.
Thank you. Thank you, Auntie. I'll look into that.
Okay. Any further questions from community? Thank
Madam
you.
Chair,
Oh,
so proud of you, Samantha. I guess me and Mr. Ayo is going to start tonight doing the survey. We can talk about million roads, how much cars move through roads. And what this lady from Prince Kahanu, they said, getting out of her driveway, going to Helilua is like one straw. No solution in the time frame that 100,000 or more cars moving, not counting the people coming in to see the Waianae Coast. Construction, accident, every day we monitor the roads. There's a solution, I don't know. But this is gonna happen. So right now, if anybody can say how much people is in here. Yeah, wild guess. 23 people sitting here tonight. Last night, 60 people. I don't know, I get enough on doing surveys. But that's the thing. We just have too much cars, too much, well, not people, but cars and moving. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you, Senator DeCourt. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Next on, we have Representative Darius Keela. Any online for Representative Darius Keela? None. Moving on to Army Representative.
Madam Chair, board members, I'm Joshua Aspinwall on behalf of Jason Kappas. Three announcements tonight. First, we've concluded our last hiring job fair for the calendar year. Applicants can still apply by visiting www.himwr.com. For the December training advisory, this week's our last scheduled training week until the second week of the new year. Small arms ranges and aviation training will occur through the remainder of this week. No other scheduled training. Any questions can be directed to the community concern line at 808-787-1528. And lastly, Kole Kole pass exercise. So in the Army's continued effort to partner with Hawaii state and county emergency management officials, U.S. Army Garrison will be conducting an exercise from Farrington Highway through Lulule Naval Magazine, Kole Kole Pass, and Schofield Barracks. This exercise will be in early February and will focus on the utilization of Kole Kole Pass during an emergency event such as a man-made or natural disaster. The U.S. Navy, Hawaii Emergency Management Agency, the City and County of Honolulu Department of Emergency Management, Honolulu Police Department, Honolulu Fire Department, and Hawaii Department of Transportation will also be participating in this exercise. The exercise will be 1 day, should not affect traffic, and more details will come out next month. That's all I have.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Board Member Ayo?
I just missed the date on it. That was it.
No published date yet, sir.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay. Thank you.
Board Member Myers?
Thank you, Chair. I attended a Zoom meeting in regards to the firing range in Eva. Are you familiar with it?
No, ma'am, but I can pass it up. You said a range in Eva?
I'm sorry?
You said a range in Eva?
Yes. Pu'uloa? Pu'uloa firing range? Pu'uloa, I'm sorry? Pu'uloa Training Facility. Are you familiar with it?
I'm not, no, ma'am. I can pass it up. though.
Okay, I don't
Is
want
there
to
a
waste.
question I can pass up for you, though?
Yeah, so it was a concern that came up with the community through an environmentalist group that the bullets that is being fired on the range has contaminated the area, the air, the water, the land with toxic lead poisoning. And around the corner from that range is Campbell High School. And then around there is the elementary. It wasn't told to us that it went that far, but the concern is that the closest location to that is a new DHHL development. So Hawaiian Homes Commission meeting yesterday was talking about they had taken ownership of, or they're taking ownership of the EVA. It used to be the emergency facility, but they're going to potentially start building that out. But the concern from the environmentalist group is that Native Hawaiians will be affected by the lead contamination. So would you be able to bring us a report back about that firing range and what kinds of reports that you have regarding those concerns?
Sure. I'll pass it up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from the board? Questions from community? State your name.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is James Cowles, but I wanted to let Ms. Myers know that that firing range is under the Marine Corps control. The Army doesn't have anything to do with that firing range. It's the Marine Corps. I know I've been there quite a few times doing live fire training and all that stuff, but it's under Marine Corps. The Marine Corps owns that property, so.
Thank you, because it was never clarified which military installation was running it. Thank you. I'll check with the Marine Corps.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from community or Army? State your name.
Aloha, Kauia Simpson again. Just, I don't know if this is just for the Army or for military in general. I've seen a higher rate of military families on this side, where before we did not have as many. So we're having more students that are in the military attending Nanakuli High and Intermediate specifically. And I believe also YNI. I would like to see what kind of support can we get. Let's start with the Army, since you're here representing, but just getting some kind of support. There's a lot of things that we could use support for. But since we're having that, and at the same time, I just attended a transition center training for military students. So we definitely want to, I know I was a military brat, but my dad's from the homestead. So there's just a variety, right? Diversity, but we want to be inclusive, but we also want to get some support. So if there is any kind of support that can be offered from the Army or any other military branch, you stated MWR, and I know that represents all military branches. So if we can get some kind of support, please let me know and we can definitely accept that support.
Yeah, absolutely. The only thing I know of that we do currently, my specific organization is we volunteer at the elementary school.
We'll take that here at Nanakuli High and Intermediate School for sure. So
I'll see what we can do. Yep.
Thank you. Thank you, Army. Happy holidays. Appreciate your time. Next on the agenda, we have Navy, and online we have Jules.
Yes, how's it? Good evening, everyone, and happy holidays. So I'll go first, and then Uncle Vic will go. I actually shared some slides for Brother Jeffrey to share. Oh, there it is. It looks like it's loading. Perfect. So I know this has been a reoccurring question about the fire. And so this is the official investigation into the cause of the Lualuale fire on October 7th. This was actually just released yesterday, December 16th. So that's the whole statement right there. But I do want to highlight the fire cause is undetermined. Investigators did not find evidence of cigarette butts, matches, any other ignition tools. No one was on the area except for the contractor cutting the grass. However, there's actually no definite evidence displayed on the rocks or metal objects found that shows that they could come in contact with the mower blades. So therefore, the fire is undetermined. And then we can move over to the next slide, please. So branching more onto that report, I'm not a judge advocate general. I'm nothing to do with legal. But if you want to know further details about that, you can submit a FOIA request. The Freedom of Information Act, it provides any person the right, enforceable in court, to request access to federal agency records and so forth. And currently, the law allows 20 working days to process a FOIA request upon receipt of the request in the FOIA office. And that's just screenshots of the website that I have. So I also put it in the chat, and then we have it up there in red. Next slide, please. And then over here, this was actually just released December 12th, so last week, Thursday. And the Joint Base Commander released this, and the purpose is to facilitate access to Lualuale Annex, as well as promote open and meaningful engagement within various community groups, including Native Hawaiian organizations. So the Joint Base Commander is providing a structured access to the Lualuale Annex. Last month, I did share how we did like a cleanup. So branching from that cleanup and how we had community come in, he wants to open this as, if you guys want to come in as a community and also do other volunteer opportunities like cleanups or join us for things, for your action, we just ask community groups wishing to access the Lualuale Annex submit a request to Joint Base for Harbor Hickam Public Affairs Office, and the email, it's jbphcommerl@us.navy.mil. I also put it in the chat. So make sure at least up to 30 days prior to your proposed visit. And there's a lot of questions that need to be asked. So just what day you want to come, the purpose, how many people, what specific site. So just be sure to email Joint Base for Harbor Hickam Commerl at us.navy.mil if you're like just interested, or if you want to know the process of how that goes. So that's all good for me. I'm all pow. Now I'm just gonna pass them on to Uncle Vic.
Thank you so much, Jules. Uncle Vic?
Mike, Mr. Simpson, that pretty much answered all of your concerns right there. Plus, we also have groups from Nanakuli and Waianae assisting us with our heiau that's on Lualuale. And for more information, you can always go online. And that also is in you guys' Navy report for December. Mine is on December 12th, we had a red flag warning on the leeward coast. What NatFac did, and I never introduced myself. Uncle Victor Flint, Naval Facilities. So, red flag warning, leeward coast. What we did is contract our ground maintenance contractors, and we stopped all mowing, all grounds mowing. Also, our fire department didn't issue any hot work permits. That would be cutting, welding, open flame, no permits for that during the red flag warning. And last thing, Kolikoli Pass. It's clear and passable in case of a declared emergency. And MOPS. And thank you for stepping up and offering to open up the gate if we need it. Mike, you also. That's all I have. Are there any questions for myself or Sister Jewel?
Thank you. Any questions from the board for Navy? Any questions from community? Online? None. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you so much, Jules. Merry
Merry
Christmas. Happy New Year. So we're going to move to board business. And on the agenda, we have to approve the November 19th minutes. We're going to table this for next, as there were errors noted. And November 2024 board member attendance at community meetings.
All right, so I'll go on the list I have. Please use your microphone to share the meetings that you attended for this month. November, my apologies. Yes, my apologies for that. Board member Tector,
None. Yeah, none.
board member Kong. This is for meetings that you attended, community meetings that you attended the month of November. Use your microphone, please.
Transportation. I think it was on the 20th last month. Yeah, the Kapuna, the one down at Pokai Bay, Kapuna Council. Yeah, and went to the fire department to give them the key. I met with them. Department of Hawaiian Homelands meeting yesterday.
Board member Shinsato,
Nanakuli Mali Neighborhood Board meeting. Nanakuli Mali Neighborhood Board.
board member Myers,
May I defer mine to next month? I left my planner at home
that's perfectly fine.
in February. Thank you.
Board member Ed Hanohano online.
No. None.
Board member Naomi Hanohano.
None.
Board member Ayo.
I believe there was only one at the town hall meeting that Darius had up at the high school last month, November. That's the only one.
And Chair Gustin.
Land and Water Committee meeting. And the Kapolei City Lights. And just wanted to note that the Nanakuli Ma'ili Neighborhood Board has a Christmas tree up at Kapolei Hale. So thank you so much for everyone who contributed and put their time and efforts into making the holiday special for the community. Mahalo. Okay. And committee reports. Transportation, Vice Chair Jermaine Myers.
Thank you, Chair. In regards to the Transportation Committee, we had the meeting on the first Wednesday of this month. And in the Transportation Committee, we spoke about the things I spoke about earlier. So whatever I said during community concerns was pretty much the transportation report. Mahalo.
Same for Housing and Zoning. Housing and Zoning.
For housing and zoning, we started to talk about Bill 64. Unfortunately, City Council, yeah, and so this is I'm going to send a request to Councilmember Tupola that she keeps us active. Once our community asks for a certain bill, sometimes it take over a year to go through legislature. So can we be activated when it's going to be coming onto a committee meeting, what reading it's at, so that we can continue to track it, because it can easily get lost with our daily life. So I appreciate that. But so we only got to talk about Bill 64. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Hawaiian Affairs Chair Mapuana Tector.
Hello? Okay, sorry. Hawaiian Affairs, we were able to discuss many issues, including writing a letter to the DHHL. I'd like to table that for February due to receiving updates last night in the DHHL meeting in reference to clarification for security, and only to find out that each individual business that's at specifically Kalaniho Kaha, not all of the businesses accepted the security. So in doing my research, it's also disheartening, but a letter in lieu of that will be it's clarification. It's also having to obtain funds via nonprofits. So monies that are coming in through the DHHL, Nanakuli Homestead, the businesses here, and other facilities is what we discuss. Also identifying all the Hawaiian affairs issues, which is basically everything to do with Hawaii and bringing our Native Hawaiians, be it 0.001% all the way up to 100%, and educating them on legislation as well as Hawaiian Native rights, and just having clarity and teaching our Ena Opio. So we have been really working hard together. It's not just me, also cleaning my backyard, the mulivai, getting up early in the morning. And majority of them, 99% is from town. The 1% is Val, myself, Malia. I invited and challenged the OPOs, okay, if I can be tasked with it, the younger people can show up. So with that, we got positive things.
Thank you. And Park and Recreation?
Me too. Parks and Recreation and doing research for line items, like we do not have parking for our the wheelchairs or our upuna. It's unmarked. So it causes issues. The permitting, people beeline the permits, they're using the beaches for their events, which is okay because they're trying to identify city and county, sidewalk, the street is state, the sand is federal. So, you know, just as they're being educated, I'm also teaching them, getting information from Keanu Young and letting them know that we can use the laws to identify how we can either work together. And hats off to city and county and assisting in fixing our baseball diamond fields alongside with our community down at Kapaku. So, which is attaboy, you know, and they got it quick fix. It's not easy trying to meet everybody's demands. So I do challenge the OPO basically, okay, meet Auntie halfway and we can see where we can go from there. It's attending the meeting. So I welcome you in every second Wednesdays of each month. Thank you.
Thank you. Land and Water. I was chair for Land and Water. The last meeting was on November 7th, and we had in attendance 15 from community and organizations. A presentation was given by Hawaii Cable Landing Station for an expansion project. And this is located to town bound on the other side of the power plant. And this is for infrastructure wanting to place a bore path from Mauka into the ocean to help with cable access. And so this is still in discussion and will be passed on to the next Land and Water Committee Chair. Another presentation was given by the Waianae Sustainability Cooperative, and they're hoping to continue with discussions with the community to understand and kuka what our concerns are for power and the Shake Energy collaborative work, and we'll continue that discussion and dialogue with them. For Education Committee, we last met in October. We had 3 in attendance, and the primary focus was to solidify the school resource officer submission for legislation, and that was submitted in our last board meeting. I pass this on to Public Health and Safety Committee Chair Paul Ayo.
I might diverse from, because it's a public health and safety issue, or because it's a bigger thing than just public health and safety. Because when you think of safety, traffic safety, swimming safety, firewise safety, all the safety aspects of being publicly safe in your own home, in your car, on the highway, on the plane, all that has to do with safety. So when you say public health and safety, it has many things that you can cover in one word, safety. Yeah. So I wanted to bring this part up that in the last week, just this past week, and you can go verify it yourself too. Okay. I get news breaks that come to my phone because I went and got that app so I can get the news breaks. And all of the things that come to my app is all concerning public disasters and shootings and all that kind of stuff. So it has to do with safety. What are they doing in other parts of the United States regarding their safety? So I wanted to say this, and I bring this up because this past week alone, just this past week, 2 shootings, schools, 2 of them. 1 Christian school. Unbelievable. At a Christian school, the shooter is a female girl. Teacher dies and another student dies. Shooter shoots herself. It's in the paper up in the mainland. Okay, that's one. The last one, which was just either yesterday or the day before, Northern California, middle school, shooter, student in the school. And I bring that up because education, we want to educate them while they're in the school. But I don't know if they're going to get that education if the school not safe. I was crying when I got the thing. I was like, Morgan, what are you crying about? And it was something only sent to my phone. And the reason why I cry, I can tell you why. When I worked in the school in Washington, I said a prayer every morning. I had it in my pocket. And if those of you are interested in it, it's a cross in my pocket. That's what kept me safe on the school, working in the school. It kept me safe. But every time I came to work and I read my prayer to protect me, I was actually praying for everybody in the school so that we protect ourselves in the school. That's how I survived the school day. But anyway, getting to the meat of the matter is this, that when I came to school, my biggest fear was I might have to shoot a student in that school that had the gun that would shoot somebody else. Think of that. You know, if you put yourself in that position, policemen do that every day. They might have to shoot someone that might shoot you if you're at the shopping center or on the highway. Yeah? Shooting on the highway. Things don't go right. Boom. So here we are. We only have 2 high schools in our district, Waianae and Nanakuli. And I'm going to say this every time we have a board meeting, I'm going to bring it up. Because here we are, we're on the west side, and Samantha brought this up too. We're the most side of the island, get the most Hawaiian kids. And I'm ashamed, you know, being a retired policeman, that we don't have enough of our Hawaiian kids in our school. Serious. And I love that school up there. Every time I go up there, my girls practice in the gymnasium up there, the club team that I'm coaching with. Matter of fact, they're playing tonight, and I'm not there. Okay, I'm here. But with that said, I hope in my lifetime, seriously, in my lifetime, I'm getting too old already, but in my lifetime, I would want to see that program here on the west side, Nanakuli High School and Waianae High School. I'm going to push this every time I come to a board meeting or when I get my committee meeting. I'm gonna push for that. I just wanted to say that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Advocacy at its finest. So we did have a question online, and the question is, how can we assist committee chairs with their work? I would love to learn and assist with the committees that meet. And so Hawaiian Affairs specifically, this meets every second Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. at the Kalani Ole Beach Park office, and then Park and Recreation to follow every second Wednesday, 7 to 8 p.m. at the Kalani Ole Beach Park office. And the other committees are restructuring at the moment, and once we get a calendar date, we will announce that at our next board meeting. So we will be recessing announcements. We'll be recessing in January 2025. Our next regular board meeting will be on Tuesday, February 18th. There's an adjustment in the agenda. So Tuesday, February 18th, we ask you continue to come back. We will still need to fill those vacancies. Thank you all for staying the night. Mele kaliki maka, haole maka hiki ho. Adjourned.